Hey everybody, this is Timeless V, and because it's the Christmas going into Christmas weekend, this will be my last video for this week. So I decided we will do go back to the caves and more file. Um, just kind of goofing off and do some exploring on this map. I hope you've had a good morning to those that it is morning, good afternoon, or evening. Minecraft is my thinking game. There's no monsters on it. We just came from a cave back in that area somewhere, and we found a desert. So we'll just kind of, and we've just been walking and talking and gathering stuff. I have no room whatsoever in my inventory. Um, got a tag here, but I think maybe I will. Let's go back for a minute and do a quick house. Maybe I'll do a quick house here, or maybe over here in the plains. And a quick house is just a place to store some of the stuff that I picked up. Maybe I'll try some of the new designs I looked at on there on the internet. One shot. Oopsie. Oh. One thing I was thinking about lately is 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know why I jumped down because it makes it hard. 4. Okay. One thing I've been thinking about lately is how people are introverts and extroverts in life, and sometimes it's and the difference between them. I personally am an introvert. It's harder for me to talk or um, make, well, not make friends, but continue with them anyway. And so I was thinking about how um, sometimes I wish I could be more outgoing and that, and not let things bug me or give me anxieties as as sometimes it does. Sometimes things do. And so I'll tell a story that I know. I met a person that's an extrovert, and they are very funny. They make me laugh, and I have such a good time talking to them and joking around and that. But the person, they're more or less, they like talking. So I found out that the person was more, they're from another country, more famous than I thought they were. I just thought they was an average Joe. But they like to talk and like to joke around. Very interesting um, person to me. And so, anyway, uh, the more I found that they were uh, more of a had um, kind of famous, had their in their country and had their different. They thrived on the fans and that. And it was kind of difficult for me. I seen a video of the person and kind of brought things to kind of brought things to a harder way. And you see, I'm having a hard time talking here. Uh, Kind of brought things to reality almost, for me. Um, they it was a video made years ago, and they were on a stage with a, a theater full of people, and the the I'm trying, and they called the person's name, and they rose to their feet, and they waved their hand in the air, and the crowd roared. And I'm talking about full of people. There's people in the audience, people in the balcony, people all over. And this was a video made before COVID time. So they waved their hand in the air, and the people roared. Then they stood erect, up tall, and placed their hand on their chest and began to recite one of their characters that they played. And the crowd just went, wow, boy. And just to look at the person's face, how they began to recite the characters, lines, and it just became so surreal to me, to think about, not being nervous about different people looking at you or listening to you. Not only that, but just thriving on it. It just blew my mind. It blew my mind. It caused a bit of a panic attack because I remember something that I said to this person before I knew, the extent of their fame, and just tongue in cheek, joking around, and said something that just came so surreal to me, because I joked and said, "Oh, that the person, if they become too famous, because a lot of times they count their followers on social media and say, well, I got such and such amount of followers or what have you. And so the person at one time was being congratulated for their amount of followers that they had. And which, to be honest, that amount was just a drop in the bucket to reality, you that I didn't know it, but I said, and I'll put it this way, that I couldn't no longer joke around or be that person's friend if they get to be too famous. And, to me, I was just joking, around, but in reality, to know someone who is, I'll put it this way, a Maserati compared to my pickup truck, you know, which means a person who's used to Maseratis and fast cars and expensive cars and expensive restaurants and things like that. And I'm just a person who's normally, oopsie, this is wrong. This back wall has to match that wall. And I'm usually a person who um, or just, I have my pickup truck and that I drive, Ram. I love my pickup truck though. That I have, that I drive, in my this kind of simple way of being, McDonald's, that sort of thing, So to think about someone who their life is just totally different than if it had not been for the internet. I probably would never even have met someone like that, and to be an introvert and have to deal with, not only that person, but just how people feel about that person, and almost like this is mine, sort of way of thinking. If you don't fit that particular group or mindset or whatever, then you kind of treated in that fashion. I'll put it that way, and it becomes difficult for me, to deal who normally does not deal with other people that much, you know. Um, some things in life, because I am older in life, I've learned to cope and do. I can teach. a Bible study or things like that I can do, no problem, But to be able to just to deal with a lot of people, it's difficult for me sometimes. This is what is yeah, it's difficult for me sometimes, but you know, center, center. So it's hard for me to understand, to be able to just wave your hand in the air and get an applause or something like that. It's difficult for me to understand that. It's difficult for me to, you know, um, it kind of, some things remind me of when I was younger and in school growing up, and different places you fit in and different places you don't, and you pick your as they say, battles or way of thinking. What is something that you can tolerate. How much can you tolerate? I don't know if I want to use this because this is more than 14. All right, this I can use this. It's different. And I guess being introvert, it's some things I never learned how to deal with because if something bothered me, I just kind of went my way or did my own thing, and I don't know if that would be something hard for someone who is an extrovert to understand because they don't do that. They just kind of, I don't know. I don't know how they deal with things. It's hard for me to understand. Usually people find, when they do find someone that abuses them, they say people that's opposite of them, they find, more intriguing. I don't know. For myself, I like people who are, if you're familiar with the JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. I like the Joseph type, you know, the Joseph type person. They really entertain me. So this person is very entertaining. He's, you know, have quick wit, and find that, you know, even the person's friends that they have very quick witted minds and they'll make you laugh. You know, didn't know why until later. They the kind of field of work they do. You know, you have to be that kind of person with a quick mind and a quick sense of humor, a very good sense of humor. But I didn't know that at the time. You so to meet someone like that, and it can be overwhelming to say the least. And a lot of things that I wouldn't think about normally. I overthink it, over worry about it. Even to the customs or ways of talking. as far as different countries have different customs of doing things. And so, even with that, that can give me an anxiety, of that. Am I saying things correctly? Am I um, you know, saying the correct way of honorifics and different things like that? It becomes very hard for me, because sometimes it can get you quick uh, reprimand. I'll put it that way. If you say something and it's contrary or different for that person's fan base of what they're used to hearing. Some don't care, some don't mind, some do, you know. But it's very hard for me to even to wrap my mind around that, and try to just pull myself together. I'll put it that way. You know, it's hard. It's hard because it's too much. I don't know, for me, too much thinking for me. You know, especially when you find that to that particular person, hey, it's just a joke or a way of thinking. It doesn't bother them, one way or another. Seems to be anyway. Now, let me see if I can remember how this goes. As you find it, joking around causes your issues, when you joke too much. And time again, I find myself saying, I know I joke too much. I know I joke too much. And this is why I say that. Let's see if I can remember. All right. And then this one, no, yeah, I think that's correct. And how to deal with that is my process. Trying to get to that. Still, I don't know what the answer is. And if has to do with dealing with people. I grew up where you dealt with people you normally face to face, and dealing with people on a superficial level all the time is not easy to do. You know. No. And what I mean by that is you can't really express what is bothering you when something is bothering you, or different things like that. Or get that because of I don't know. I don't even know if it's a language barrier or what. But even to get their opinion on what they think about, you know, the different things of as at first. I mean, joke was funny. Joke was funny, and then they say, "Well, okay, the joke ain't funny to some people," you know, and to understand, well, you know, where is this person with that joking around stuff all the time? You know, what is going through their particular head, and by the time I make the house, it's time to move on, and that's wrong. I think that one's supposed to have a full step. Yeah, but anyway, just to wonder. See if I can do this again. What they think about it, in all honesty, I think this is probably wrong. Let's see. Okay. And I think that goes over like that. Now, can I duplicate it? That's the question. Let's see. One down. Okay. Let's see. On here. Let's see. Let me look at you. All right. What I do is put a dirt here. Boom. And put a, which way? Right side up. There. And even that, I get a feeling in my mind. Why would you sweat the small stuff? Like that. The sort of feeling in my head. Of it being a minor matter, and not a big matter. but it's a big matter to me, you know. It's a big matter to me. Let's see. All right, did it. It's funny the things you get be proud about. Oh, I did it. Let's see. Made these. But so that's why we're doing the thinking game day, and we're practicing of how to make things better as far as construction goes. Um, Normally, I was taught not to make roofs out of wood because they can catch on fire, as we just had a lightning storm, lightning strike and catch it on fire. But it seems to be the way people are building now, you know, um, with the wood on the roof like that. I've seen a lot of also people building houses in the new caves. Um, Spend hours building on houses in the cave, and they look beautiful too. Beautiful homes. Um, we're just gonna try to make one look half decent. I don't know about beautiful, but half decent will do. Something that's not gonna make you say, "Who in the world did built that and why?" You know. Growing up, that's what we would say. Who did that and why? But anyway, um, so anyway, I don't know if that's right, but we going with it. We going with it. I think I was supposed to put an upside down stair there. We're going with it though. Because even all in all, that's not horrible. Let us keep on keeping on. Did we do it? Something is off. Yeah, yeah. Why is there two stairs up here? Because I need a stair right there. That's maybe the issue. I don't know, but we're gonna put one there. Something is off up here. Oopsie. All right, let's get it together. Okay, that one is like this. That's wrong, but that's how it looks. Boom. But we can turn that into chimney. That's all right. I mean, and have lemons, the saying goes, make lemonade. You just have to be able to duplicate it on the other side. So I think I said it, but maybe not. I've been practicing drawing. I haven't drawn anything since I was pretty much a child. So I've been practicing the artists online. It, you know, inspired me to to start drawing again, and just for fun. It's a fun thing. I always loved to do as a young person, and just like why not? I find that it is more difficult for me to do the more realistic character, realistic looking characters. Let me see how this is done. But okay, let's see. Yeah, come out one more. The more realistic looking characters, but um, I still give it a shot. There's some new, some techniques that I did not use back in the day when I was a kid. Now I was in it. I don't want to jump in that hole. Not that good with parkour, so let's move on. Some techniques I didn't use back then, that is available now. And art is a something that it's like a muscle, you know, that you have to either use it or lose it. So is language a muscle that you use or lose, and so all in all, it's just trying to practice and remember, practice and remember, practice and remember to help you to exercise those muscles. Um, as a child, I could, because I loved art so much, I can just look at a picture and just practically see it on the page, of what I wanted to draw. The image would come that much alive to me onto the page. Um, now, now it's, a little bit more difficult to do that, but that is the imagination of a child, you know. So anyway, I've drawn quite a few characters, uh, Solid Snake, and different ones that I'll share onto my Twitter, for different people to see it. They're just, I did it, yay, sort of a thing, But I'll share on Twitter my art. Um, Not the most horrible, especially for a novice. Not the most horrible, but far from professional. I'll put it that way. But it's still just something fun to do. That I like doing, uh, and so I do it. I draw and try to bring back that muscle memory. I just am still working on my learning Japanese. I think that I may also add the Spanish on there because it's been quite some time I uh, since I've practiced or even spoken Spanish. I used to be quite fluent conversational. I'll put it that way with the Spanish. Because I used to do a lot of talking to people um, in my life that spoke Spanish. But now, um, I more don't spend as much time in with public as I used to. So it's just a little bit more difficult to practice those things. My world don't include what how it used to be. I'll put it that way, and so I don't have the opportunity to practice my Spanish um, on on the different live streams that I would visit, or I only one that I would truly visit. But I got the opportunity, even with the videos, different people's videos, to hear the speed of um, how things are pronounced. Sometimes even to pick out some words here and there. Let's see, in Japanese as I'm trying to learn it. Finding some things that is kind of odd to me. Because watching Dragon Ball Z, when my sons were younger, I have two sons. When they were younger, watching Dragon Ball Z with them, and one of the people in there was called Gohan. I did not know Gohan was rice. So that was amusing to me to find out Gohan is rice. And, thinking about the different names that they had, Vegeta, vegetable, and stuff like that. So it became amusing to me, Um, and either they would name the characters um, after food or after vegetables, or yeah, I don't know if there was any fruit in there, but after um, that was amusing to me, because all this time I didn't know that, but as going over my lessons and learning different words and stuff, um, And that's another writer that just knows how to make things funny, you know. Um, and that's what I just would think about that. Oh man, I use these light trees. Hopefully, I got enough, you know, because I was just thinking, well, that's the biggest amount I have. I'll use them, which I may not be able to have. I may not have. I don't know if I got enough steps to fill this out. Guess I can look over that hill. I didn't travel that far from where the cave system, you know, so it shouldn't be horrible, you know. But anyway, so I thought that was interesting, you know, to find that out and trying to put together these different sentences on Duolingo has been amusing, to say the least. I just have not done a new video on it lately, but I find it very amusing, you know, to to me to find out what different things are called. Some things don't really have a different name, you know, like foods in there. I'd have to look up the foods. That's what's sticking in my mind today. The food soba. I don't know what soba is, but I'll have to look it up. It doesn't translate to something different, you know, and it just may be a food that they eat in Japan, you know, or come from Japan, and we never called it anything different, you know, and the things that are very very similar, some things are very different, you know. Like I was surprised, and I've said this before. The cake was cakey, which is amusing. I always thought they would just try to speak English and kind of, you know, adding their own little thing to the end of cake. But that's how it's actually said, you know, in Japanese. And you know, there is quite a few languages um, have. I gotta get some of the light trees over there. Uh, have words that I don't know where they exactly originate, but just maybe a little something added to the word to make it their own. You know, because we use a lot of words that we've borrowed from different countries, you know, and just made it our own, you know, also, which is understandable because the United States is what they call a melting pot, which means we have people from many different countries coming to this country to live, you know. So they bring their foods and their language and their different things that just becomes a part of the United States. You know, because I can remember one thing that was said. Uh, Someone said "Hasta la vista, baby," and they thought it was English, but it actually is Spanish. It is a Spanish word, "Hasta la vista." hasta meaning until, vista we see each other is what it translates to, you know. And of course, baby is English, but it translates like that, you know. And this is something called, I think, Arnold Schwarzenegger, who is not Spanish, but he made it more prevalent in to use that particular word, you know. And so I didn't pick any saplings up. I'm surprised. So anyway, that's one thing. You know, there's many words that's just not coming to mind, and I find that uh, um, also in Japanese there is some borrower words as well. You know, like to say thank you very much. Arigato gozaimasu, or something similar sounding to that. And I say it like that because it's the gozaimasu, and I could be pronouncing it wrong, but is from Spanish, you know. Um, Gusa is a derivative of gusto, or to like, you know, to have pleasure. Uh, Me gusto, meaning I like something, and mas means more, you know. So to like more, or is a loose translation, or very much, you know. And so, you know, you got to get the mindset of also a language. And so that you can tell is borrowed, you know. And you'll find there's quite a few things here and there that may be borrowed from another language, as with English as well. We do have things that we borrow, um, and just may not even know where they come from, you know. Because I'm sure hamburger and frankfurter is not English. You know? 'Cause there is Hamburg, Germany. So I doubt very much we invented the word hamburger, but we made it our own. Frankfurter, or hot dog, of course. We made that our own, you know. Where am I with this roof? Okay, I am on this side. Ooh, I almost did it. But such is life. And that is something that I truly enjoy learning, and even to the doing my Duolingo. Sometimes it's can be difficult, but I enjoy doing those little classes online. Um, they have a something they were saying on there sent me an email that I can practice my Duolingo with other people. Um, uh, Practice Japanese, sorry, with other people on there, and that way I could practice my speaking ability to do that. But I didn't do it. I didn't do that. That's where the door is, so there should not be a fireplace here. I should have left the other one in. But anyway, so much for that. We ain't living here forever. So, what was I saying? I didn't practice with them online. I also thought about taking a course with there's a person named Yuda that has a course. Oopsie. Also, but it cost. I thought it was free. It is not free. It costs. So, is this right? Something is wrong. All right. Oopsie. This should be one down, I think. One down. Is it one down? Yeah. Well, I'm rolling with it. So anyway, it costs to do that particular course, which I ain't trying to pay no money for that. Not right now, anyway. So I didn't take his course. I didn't practice. Didn't want to practice with people online for the simple fact when I thought about it, it made me feel anxious. You know, talking to people, new people that I don't know, just it made me anxious. So I didn't do it. You know. um, so anyway, um, that is where I am with that. Maybe sometime I will. I'll try to record my Duolingo study. I've gotten pretty far with it as far as things go. I I want this kind of door. I open up quite a bit of stories. They have stories that you can do. I've opened up quite a bit of stories. I've completed at least to a certain level. I think you can get higher than that though. On those, some of them, the oopsie, nope. I didn't know you could put two doors back to back like that. But I've gotten half decent on there. And I didn't know that you could get that far. I mean, could what I'm saying. You don't know. But anyway, I've gotten half decent on there. as far as learning go, which is further than I thought I would get. So I applaud myself. I don't know why, because I've taught myself Spanish to be conversational, um, which is not bad either, you know. Be able to communicate, teach yourself well enough to communicate um, is good. It's just just a matter of not giving up and continuing to practice the language. It would take me a bit to get my Spanish back up to where it used to be. One thing I used to love is listening to music in Spanish, which gives you a quicker way of thinking as far as the language goes. It would stick in your brain, my brain, a little bit more, if I listen to it in listen to the music, and then you can take the words of what words you don't know, look them up, that sort of thing. So it made it easier for me to understand and stick, uh, you know, for the words to stick easier. Um, as far as Spanish goes, now Japanese, I am just an infant in the way of thinking. As far as the language go, I do turn on the interpreter of when I'm on listening to a live stream. I'll turn on the Google Translator and look at the sentences of what they're saying, the way they form their sentences, um, trying to, because to some countries, English sounds backwards. So that means to me, um, the sentence structure of some of the other countries sounds backwards. It doesn't mean it's backwards. It's just backwards to me. Um, Hebrew, and a little bit, you know, uh, a little bit to me, and that's just to me. Japanese reminds me of Hebrew, but that could be just because they use a different style of alphabet in the way they write. And that it's more of for me, it's more uh, almost drawing pretty fancy letters. I don't even know. To me, I'm used to the ABC like that. And they draw um, kanji, and I forgot how you pronounce karakani or something like that. Letters, and they use two or 2 to 3 separate lettering systems, sometimes simultaneously. So for me, that is interesting. And I said I was going to store some of my junk here, didn't I? Before I wander off. I might need this. But so for me, that's interesting. You know that they use the different lettering and that I'm beginning. Funny thing is, I am beginning to recognize some of the words and letters as I look at them. Well, especially if it's fresh in mind, as I look at them as they are on the lesson, you know. So I know I'm beginning to learn. Sometimes it feels frustrating. Oh, I'm just a blockhead. I don't know anything. But I'm beginning to learn, recognize, and that's just a drop in the bucket. But beginning to learn and recognize things, letters, when I see them, or words when I see them, um, hear them. Some things I thought, and before I began studying, was just sounds that people make. But sometimes we make sounds that don't really mean anything. It's just a sound, And so when I would hear different sounds, um, and find that that's not a sound, that's a word. So that's interesting too. Like the word eh, something like that. It means no. But for me, it was a sound until I figured out that that was a word, um, that they say, and I don't know. I like language. It's very interesting to me, and the way that it can be used to even to speak, to say things in someone else's language using your language, like the lettering I was just talking about. Let me torch while I'm talking. Like the lettering I was just talking about, that is so different, than what I am used to, but yet they can write things, not even good, sometimes naughty things. In your language using their lettering. I found that interesting. Not always funny. I'm laughing right now, but it's not always funny. Um, Also, to find that sometimes people don't always understand each other's um, culture or history or care to know it. I forgot to put it. I don't have that though. Let me see. Well, since we're not really doing anything on this map important, I'm gonna go over here where I see a hole. Let's see. And I'm gonna dig and see if I can find me. No, that's a water hole. I can go by the house and dig and find some iron if I can, because I would like to put a lightning rod on the top of the house so that the roof don't get burnt up. And I got rid of my iron last time. So anyway, um, so that's an interesting thing that is um, to me. You know, I read a particular word, you know, that was not so nice, and that had been written in, you know, with the Japanese lettering, which first I thought, you know, maybe I'm seeing wrong. You know, I do have my translator on, you know, but no, when I turned the translator off, it turned back into Japanese lettering, you know, and was telling my, because I told you guys I have a son, was telling my son about it. He says, oh, that's not a Japanese word. He said, they can't write. I said, they can write anything they want to write, you know? So, yeah, they can write anything, they can say anything they want to say, you know, with the lettering that they have. It doesn't stop us from writing something. You know, I didn't say that, but it don't stop us from writing things and um, the words that belong to another language in our language using our letters. You know that we use English letters, so you know that's something. You know that is something. You know. I don't know if I'll find some iron or just be digging in a hole talking, you know. But anyway, that's things that I find very interesting, you know, very interesting. Um, and I tried my best to be sensitive to people in things I say to people. Um, Sometimes it's not easy because sometimes I can be blunt, you know, in some things I say or my actions sometimes and not really thinking about it as well, you know. And a lot I've been thinking about those different things, you know, um, and how it would affect someone else. And sometimes my solution is just to step back from things and just think about it, you know, wow, and then move forward, you know. And so that's what I'm trying to do, step back and think about things, you know, because everybody's way of thinking is not your way of thinking, you know, that I say to myself. But it's nothing but gameplay to one person is hurtful to somebody else, can be hurtful to somebody else. But that is my philosophy today. my bit of philosophy today. I don't think I will be getting to any um, what was I looking for? I was looking for copper. I don't think I'll be seeing any copper today. Just yakety yakking and digging a hole. You know, still in my mind, I wish that I could see a um, play. You know, go to Japan and see one of the plays there, or um, something like that. You know, the kabuki plays. Um, I read some of the things online looking at different ones talking about visiting there, and one person um, said that they visit quite often, and every time they go, or every they visit it, I'll put it that way. And when they go to see the kabuki plays. So that would be interesting to me, but it's I kind of rethink it unless I get a whole lot better with my Japanese. I do have family, a particular family member that lives in Japan. Where exactly, I have a nephew that lives in Japan. Where exactly does he live? I don't know. He is on my Facebook, but exactly where in Japan does he live? I don't know. 'Cause I just look at some of the stuff. Rarely does he post, but some of the stuff about his wife and kids that he has there, pictures because I enjoy looking at the pictures of his family. And it just, they were at an amusement park. I never even asked him what amusement park that was. I just look at the pictures and don't really interact. So I can't tell you. But he lives somewhere in Japan. Um, I would not dare to intrude on his life, though, as far as that goes, to visit him. But, um, he does live there. But I'd have to get better, uh, you know, do better in my, oopsie, do much better before I would consider a trip like that because um, just some things that it makes me anxious right now would really give me a big time issue. If I went and could not understand the language, not enough to get around or what have you. So that's things that I would have to consider in my mind. Fool. So I gotta take some of this junk back to that house and then come back. And as I was saying, I said to the person who is a famous voice actor, one of the famous voice actors there, who I didn't know at first was a, a voice actor. Just thought they was, a very amusing person. I told that person that, I'd come in and one day and listen to them do a dramatic reading because sometimes they do dramatic readings as well. You know, and I'm thinking at first I thought, it was somebody who would make a great voice actor. And I thought, maybe they're just up and coming voice actor. I don't think I can said anything on here except for this middle pillar, this middle one, which I'm going to replace that with a lightning rod. Maybe, maybe not, because I may not even ever come back to this particular map. But it's a good thinking map anyway. Now I done lost my dig hole, but that's all right. We can put some of this stuff up first. Maybe go to sleep. But I would tell that particular person that, if I ever come to Japan, if they're doing a dramatic reading or something like that, because the person did do a reading of a Knoll play, which is uh, um, the more upper crust, I'll put it that way, play that they would do. The Knoll plays was for normally the more richer people would go to that, and the kabuki plays was for the common man. Again, that goes with the I'm the Ram pickup truck kind of person, and they're the Maserati, sort of person. So anyway, um, uh, I said that if I ever came there, that I would love to see, you know, them read a dramatic reading. I really enjoyed, even on the internet, coming across. That's how I end up coming across that um, one where because most of the time it's, you don't get to see the person, or the person is um, in a room, where they're just recording, So that was the first time I seen this person actually in action on the stage. The story I told you, and they just brought things to reality. But I had said that I would love to see this person read dramatic, very good. Uh, um, wow, hey, he can bring the audience to their feet just by reading one of his character, not even reading, reciting one of his characters' lines that he plays in, I believe it's anime, and probably voices the games too, because the character is in a game as well. But if he can bring the audience to their feet just by reciting uh, um, the lines that he uh, does in the anime, you could just imagine dramatic reading. When he does a dramatic reading, I enjoy when I heard him do it online. As far as uh, just hearing it, because one time I heard him read a story of a soldier, and I'm kind of watching the clock. I think I may have went over my time. Um, who came back? I think he was really samurai, I think, or something like that. They came back after some time to his wife, and uh, he read the story, and at the end, first he really was not really attentive to her when he first came back, but then he hugged her after she asked about him, how he did he still feel the same about her, you know, and he embraced her, and as the story goes, when he awoke the next day, she had passed away. And it was a dramatic, sad story. But, I had to give him a bravo because it was a story that could bring you to tears. That's just how, I think the story was well written as well, but he's a very good dramatic reader. That's what he do. That's his life. That's what he do. And so I can't take that away from him. He's very good at what he does. Um, but just it's just thinking about um, all these different things is difficult. I found it. I found it. What? I unlocked something. Okay. Yeah. So we actually can put the lightning rod on the house before we end our video. But of course, you know, um, considering the such a difference in culture and that you almost you know for me, I almost wish I could turn back the clock and or turn back the situation and say, well, you know, not move any further, to know different things is interesting. Sometimes you just want to know it, but the fun of joking and playing and all that, have to wake up, you know. Well, I don't have a furnace. Give me the furnace. And it kind of reminds me of when we are children, we don't think that much about these different things, of all the we don't sweat the details. I put it that way about people. We just, for the most part, sometimes it's an issue with people, and they're normally taught to make it an issue, but children are usually very not as judgmental about things, not deep thinkers about uh, things, um, about uh, it takes them a while to even notice that there are different races. You know, I've heard my children when they were little, would just refer to people, they thought they were the same, all the same race. Just, some people are orange and some people are different colors like that, they would say, which, you know, um, it's odd when they begin to get to the age where they realize, oh, there are different races, there are different languages and different things like that. Um, I grew up uh, in an area where, for the majority of the people that I lived around was the same color as I am, but moving to Kansas, it kind of flipped on me, and it was just you met I sorry, not you. I met people from all different walks of life, as far, well, races, not walks of life, because we've all still poor, but we're you know different races, different ethnic groups that I got an opportunity to meet. I would not sell that for the world, you know. Um, that experience. I wouldn't sell even to meet the voice actor. I wouldn't sell that experience for the world either. It's just a lot for me to process because, like I said, I ram truck. you know, he's he's Maserati. And normally the two worlds don't meet. So how to process dealing with someone who is Maserati is difficult. You know, not only Maserati, but have different customs and come from a place with just the different customs. It's a little bit easier for the person to understand because usually when someone deals with the public in that manner, they also deal with people from other um, countries and customs, and is a little more tolerant because they meet, and it's nothing new to them. They meet people from all kinds of walks of life, and so it's not a hard thing for them to process. You know, I call it, when you find something different and strange, I always, in my mind, call it poke it with a stick. See how it works. And so it's not new. It's nothing new. But I have rambled. I have built a shack here, of the new style of building, with the new type of roof. Okay. So maybe on my other map that I said I was going to make stores and stuff, I will bring out uh, a little bit here, have an entryway like this, and bring it out this way, on both sides a little bit, and then put the store on there. And that should be big enough. A golem should be able to walk around because this is 4 blocks high. I don't know how many blocks high a golem is, but if I build something to about this height and a little bit bigger on going out on the sides and a little bit back that way a little bit, it would make a great store. I forgot what kind of store I said, a bakery. In fact, you probably could turn it into the bakery and living quarters, which Golem would never be able to get to the living quarters, but you can make that out. So I may make that on the other map. But I've used this day because I will not be making a video tomorrow. Through the Christmas holiday, I'll do a couple videos after Christmas, before going into the new year. Of course, I take my New Year break a little bit too, but I know that when I took the whole, I think it was like a week or close to a week off for Thanksgiving, that was a little bit too long for me. So I'm just gonna take a few days before, for Christmas, and then a few days around New Year, just but do some videos in between time. But and I'm getting ready to end. If you like the video, like and subscribe. As for the most part, I usually just do a lot of talking about whatever it is that's on my mind, more so than anything, and trying out a new way of building. That was fun. So, like, subscribe if you would like to. I hear people say um, to click that bell if you want to know when there will be new videos out. I try to put one out mostly every day except for on Sunday. Sometime I will skip Saturday, just depending on how I feel or how congested my day is. Those of you that do pray, I ask that you pray for me and my anxieties, that I will be an overcomer, and not let them destroy me, but help me to learn to press. Don't take everything to heart, and I give you that advice as well. And I will see you next time. This is Thomas V, and I'm out.